What's going on, guys? Pass here with another review video today for you guys. A surprise. This is going to be the third and final surprise of review videos. Usually I announce what I'm doing, what reaction I'm going to do. These reviews, trying to just get myself back into the review video flow by the end of the year so I can start putting out more reviews starting next year, 2024. Let me not yap too much. This video is going to be my top 10. Yes, my top 10, not 5. I had too many fights to put on here. So this video is going to be my top 10 anime fights of 2023. Off of the anime that I have watched. You know, if I miss yours, sorry. But, you know, there's only a certain amount of fights or anime that I handpicked to watch. These are going to be strictly from the ones that I've watched. And again, they're going to be from my opinion. So without further ado, let's get into it. Okay, originally, like I said, I was going to make this a top 5 anime fights list, but there were just too many fights, especially from multiple anime, that I just couldn't leave out more. I couldn't leave out 5 more. I had to put 5 more on there. Plus, we also have some honorable mentions. So, without further ado, let's get into my personal favorite anime fights of 2023. First one, we're gonna go with number 10. Is going to be Victor versus the Union. If y'all haven't watched Undead Unluck, go watch right now. Victor versus Union was so fire, very unexpected, very recent. So kind of slid him under, you know, slid him at the bottom of the list. But Victor versus Union was so fire, especially with Victor coming out the previous episode. I'm not gonna spoil too much about it, but you know, if you know, you know. He was absolutely crazy, you know, to be able to go 1v1 against, how many Union members are there? Like 10? Or maybe 8? I don't know, because the other two were obviously Andy and Fuko. But yo, he was manhandling all of them. Obviously they got the upper hand because of the unluck that Fuko had, but he was doing his thing. And not to mention, he was able to, I think he almost killed Spoil. You know, it was because he like completely bodied Spoil so fast that they were like, oh, we're in trouble. Like, I forgot the Chinese guy's name with the blue hair, but he went up against him. Oh my gosh. Just remembering the arm getting dislocated hurts me. But this had to be on there simply because of the tone. It was a shift from what the arc that this part of the saga was. And I was just like, oh, you could really sense the danger from him. And the animation was just amazing. It was awesome to see each of the Union members finally show what they got, how they fight, how they you know, go up against adversity. And it was just showcasing all these members that we knew nothing about up to that point. My favorite being Jui, I forgot her name, the one with the masked blonde girl. She's the leader of the Union. Anyway, go watch it. You'll find out. You're gonna love that fight because I loved it so much. Number 9, I don't know if I'm gonna get heat for this or not. It's going to be Sukuna versus Mahoraga Jujutsu Kaisen. Now, the only reason it is so low, give me it wowed me. It wowed me when it first dropped. It was amazing. The reason it is so low is because it's incomplete. Even the animators came out and said that they were rushed. They couldn't make the deadlines for this one on time, or it was just too heavy of a cost. Like, they were asking for too much in a short amount of time. You know, it's all good, animators, because you cooked with all of Jujutsu Kaisen season 2. There are like 88,000 other fights in the same season to choose from, so I'm not giving them flack at all. But it's only so low because of it's unfinished. The potential is there. If I can imagine what a finished fight for this fight looked like, that it probably would have been number 2, number 1 even. I say number 2 because my number 1 is like, you know, it's set in stone for me. So this Mahoraga Sukuna, it was very lots of movement, lots of energy, crazy changes in environment, almost to the point where we couldn't even understand what was going on sometimes. Another reason why it's so low is because some of these parts were so confusing, but seeing Sukuna go crazy against one of the best curses in, actually the best curse in Megumi's arsenal, Maharaga, it was amazing. And just seeing all the moving parts, seeing just what their vision was for this fight was amazing. It was gonna move mountains. It still did. It still did in its incomplete state. And I could just imagine, I need them to release like a completed version of that fight, either in a Blu-ray or something, because it could have been that fight. It could have been that fight. But I do prefer some of the other fights in this series, so, or in this season. So Sukuna versus Maharaga, despite being amazing, incomplete, probably bottom tier for this season's fights.
見た者には唯一のマコラの破り方、初見のその限りではない。
Number 8. Number 8 comes from One Piece. One Piece also had a lot of good fights to showcase this year, giving one of the best arcs in the series so far. This one is gonna go to Kid and Law versus Big Mom. I love this fight so much because there were so many dynamic portions of it. You had Kid and Law teaming up, like kind of like not really wanting to, but having to team up to be able to go against Big Mom. You know, you had Law warping from place to place, and the animators really taking the shift in warping, like giving us the perspective, a different perspective of how teleportation works in anime, and I loved it. You know, we didn't really get the we got the first person point of view, I would say, from Law warping. We keep seeing him flashing, slicing Big Mom, disappearing, flashing, but from his point of view, and I thought that was awesome. It was probably one of the most unique animation sequences I've seen in a minute, and it was fire. You know, it was fire. I love Law. To see Kid be able to use the beam against Big Mom, I don't know, the purple beam, was it the purple beam? He had such resilience in this fight. Let me tell you, he got hit by so many attacks, and I think he even got hit by Big Mom's go-to. I forgot her name, but that big phantom lady that looked like a ghost. Forgive me if I can't name any of these moves or people like off the top of my head. I seen this like months ago. One of my favorite fights, Kid and Law versus Big Mom. I loved it, and it was such a great time. Number 7. That's the wrong. It's this one. It's this one, right? Number 7 is gonna be from Attack on Titan. If you've watched the finale, I'm not gonna spoil it, but you should know by now, given the events leading up to the finale, that this was gonna happen. Survey Corps, the entire survey crew, versus Eren. Lasted damn near an hour. No, let me stop. It was actually like realistically 30 minutes on top of explanations and such, but this was a perfect ending fight for everybody involved, actually, for a closure on everybody's character arc. I don't want to spoil too much. If you're watching this, I hope that you've watched enough of it, but just in case, I'm not going to spoil too much. But you know, you get closure with so many characters in this fight. You get closure in Levi's arc, in believe it or not, we get it in Zeke's arc too. He gets closure. We get closure with Mikasa, with Armin, with Jean and Connie, and oh my gosh, there's so many great moments about this fight. The action top notch. Mappa cooked. They were in the kitchen juggling Jujutsu Kaisen and Attack on Titan, because oh my gosh, how do you even different teams, I guess, different teams. You know, even the fight on top of Eren's back was so insane with everybody involved, and you know, him using all that he did against them, those specific characters, top notch. Like, how do you not have, like, it was a whole war and battle of itself, but it was still a fight. I had to put it up there. Very, very, very amazing ending. Probably the best fight of the series. It's hard to tell because season 3 had a lot of great moments. You know, Levi versus Zeke, Armin versus the Colossal Titan. There was so much. This makes it up to my top 3. Very good, and honestly, what a fight to end the entire series. Number 6 is going to be Kenpachi versus Gremmy, Bleach 1000-Year Blood War. Not even much I can say. It was just, Kenpachi is him. He's got probably some of the biggest hype moments in the show, and I think it's just due to his character. I get hype whenever he's on screen, and it's well received. Like, you seen what he did at the beginning of 1000-Year Blood War? He was probably the only one who stood up against Yhwach, and he killed 2 Stern Raiders on his back. Like, who else is doing stuff like this? Kenpachi's aura is just different, and it just went to a new level in this fight. Gremmy, having seemingly one of the most broken abilities I've ever seen in anime history, clearly was a kid because he didn't know how to use it. Did not stop Kenpachi at all, because I don't know, you give me the power of imagination, I'm going crazy. But Gremmy clearly underestimated Kenpachi, which was his downfall. Kenpachi flexed on him. He said, you shouldn't have done that. Gremmy bringing down the meteor was one of the most fire, oh my gosh, it gave me Madara vibes. It was one of the most fire scenes of the year. Seeing Kenpachi use his, I thought it was Bankai in that reaction that I posted. It was his Shikai. He not even with his Bankai yet. You know how crazy that is. He used his Shikai, blade transformed, he cut the meteor in half, and bro, it was at that point you just knew it was wraps for Gremmy. And you know, he kept Kenpachi, you know how he is, he don't dodge or anything. He'll eat attacks and still hit you with his biggest attack. Like, I think that's just how he fights. He's just him, and it was probably one of the most hype fights of this second core of 1000-Year Blood War. So Kenpachi versus Gremmy, you are up there for a reason. Number 5, back to Jujutsu Kaisen, is going to be Gojo. Sorry, the letters are the same. Jogo versus Sukuna is going to be number 5. Right in the middle. Again, it was really, really good. It was good enough to be better than better than the Sukuna versus Maharaga fight. They're back to back too, but this one was really the one that had my jaw drop. Like, I honestly was wowed by Sukuna versus Maharaga, but this one was a little more polished. You could tell the colors were amazing. You could just see more clearly what was going on, and they really nailed a lot of the tone in certain areas. Like when Sukuna was on top of the building, Jogo just kind of melted out that building and all the lava's coming out the windows. You see when he is crushing the lava together to try and get Sukuna, and Sukuna just T-poses out of it. Like, there were so many crazy scenes in this fight, and it was exactly what I had hoped for when I first read the manga. The anime just delivered on so many levels that I didn't expect. That it desensitized me at that point. I was just like, what, this is amazing. I couldn't, it was just back to back to back. Every episode had something crazy. Animators did their thing. Thank you, Mappa animators. But at some point I was just like, bro, they really just delivered on everything and then some with the source material that they were given for season 2 of Jujutsu Kaisen. Arguably one of the best anime seasons of all time. Please go watch it or catch up or whatever, because it's worth it. It's not just fighting, there's story involved, but the fights are giving everything they have to. So Sukuna versus Jogo, even though being one-sided, a joy to watch, and so much different animation to watch. They were very dynamic, lots of environmental changes, lots of destruction, lots of magic. How did he do it? He said, I can't even, I'm stupid, whatever, y'all. You know, the arrow, the fire arrow. And yeah, that was probably a firefight, no pun intended. I really loved it. Number 4 is going to be Asta versus Conrad for me. In the Black Clover movie, Sword of the Wizard King probably had some of the best animation I've seen in any movie, shonen, anything really. They came and cooked. I need that anime back ASAP, please. Who's gonna take it? Please, bro, give it to Ufotable. Give it to Ufotable. Give Black Clover to Ufotable. Now I'm pretty sure it'll be Studio Pierrot again, but they cooked. They absolutely cooked with Conrad versus Asta. And I'm talking about the end fight, because even the middle fight when they were fighting underneath the laboratory, that looked amazing. The animation was so clean. There were so many clean shots, lots of movement and action, but the last one took the cake. And you know why. If you watched it, you know once you hear that original theme song come on for Black Clover, it's raps. Oh my gosh, I still get chills thinking about it. I've watched it so many times. I know all the Black Clover fans can agree that was probably one of the best moments of the movie and in the series, even in the series, because just how they structured that fight was amazing. Even seeing all the colors from Conrad, who was turning up, transforming, it was just like, oh my gosh, this looks so beautiful. And the action was just amazing. The scenery looked too gorgeous. It looked too gorgeous. Like, I'm gonna need y'all to relax over at that studio. But it was just so beautiful to look at, so engaging, and those are the type of fight. That's the type of delivery we need on the fights going forward once the anime comes back. Conrad versus Asta was amazing. Again, not gonna spoil any of it. If you haven't watched it, go watch it. Go watch it. I'm gonna put some clips of each fight as we go along. You probably know this by now. So again, gonna try not to spoil too much. Give you enough so you go and watch the fight if you haven't.
これ以上何も知らぬガキの夢物語に耳を傾ける気はない。
Number 3 is going to be the best fight of Jujutsu Kaisen for me right now. I really enjoyed the recent Mahito versus Todo and Yuji, but even that didn't compare to the spectacle that Yuji versus Choso was. This is probably the most complete fight in season 2. Just how it looked, how the lighting was, how it was choreographed. Every part of this was amazing. The sound design, just the fight in the bathroom. They literally elevated that scene in the manga to new heights. Like, the gap between them is crazy, because I loved it in the manga. This took it like 10 times above. Just the lighting, the music, the choreography. It reminded me of Naruto. I think I said that in my reaction too. That was the type of fight where it was just straight hands, no curse technique. It was straight choreography, dodging, weaving, you know. Oh my god, bro, it was so good. I need to watch that fight again. Oh, I really got to put it on the level of Naruto type fights. The way they were just, you know, it almost seemed like they were dancing. Like, the choreography was amazing for this fight. Just straight hands, you know, going blow for blow against each other. Great sound design. Everything about it was great. This is probably my favorite fight of Jujutsu Kaisen Season 2. Top 2. Y'all gonna be mad at me, I feel like. Nah, I don't think y'all be mad at me. I think y'all are gonna agree. But number 2 for me is going to be from One Piece, Zoro versus King. Bro, when I tell you, I'm a world-class glazer, world-class, you know, I'll gas something up if I have to. I can't even do that with this, just because it speaks for itself. There are so many visual components to this fight that I can't even explain to you, because that's how beautiful it was. That's how gorgeous they create. That's how, oh my gosh, I can't even speak. Zoro versus King was something I didn't even expect to be this good. That was like movie level quality of a fight. That was movie level animation. That was like a year's worth of animation. Million budget. I don't know, bro. That might be the one of the best animated, obviously, because it's on this list, best animated fights of the year. You got the colors emanating from Zoro's aura as he's fighting with his 3 swords. You got him, you know, soaring through the air trying to dodge all the attacks from King. The build-up was just as good, and when we got to where King actually turns up, again, I don't want to spoil too much. I might have to. I'm sorry if I've spoiled anything up till now, but I need to show y'all some of the best parts of these fights, just so you could go look for yourselves, because it is chef's kiss. Chef's kiss. Zoro versus King was one of the best fights I have seen ever. And I do not even think that's like a, I don't think that's an I think it's well deserved. I think it's well deserved, and if y'all have watched it, you can agree too. Zoro versus King, bro. Amazing. Now, before we get into my number 1, let me give y'all honorable mentions for the video. These didn't quite make the list, but they were good enough to be mentioned. Some of my favorites. Let's go. Moment y'all have all been waiting for. My number 1 favorite fight, anime fight of 2023 is going to be, y'all know me back when I was 5. No, let me stop. It's going to be from One Piece, Gear 5th Luffy versus Kaido. Bro, I have never seen the hype for something like this in all my years watching anime. Even the previews just broke the internet for this fight, for just the transformation of Luffy going Gear 5th. I had never seen anything like it in my life, and I was a part of it. I was a part of the hype. I was so excited. Even when the panel first dropped, I looked at it and I was like, yeah, this is gonna break the internet when it gets animated, and it did on multiple levels. It was back to back weeks. I'm so glad they kind of stretched the fight into like maybe 4 or 5 different episodes, because I needed more than just 20 minutes of Gear 5th Luffy. It was so amazing. They had absolutely done what they needed to do with the animation in that fight, and just, you know, one of my favorite parts of the fight was Luffy catching lightning and then throwing it at Kaido. That was one of the best looking parts of the entire fight, and it probably wasn't even the best, like, most hype moment. Like, I mean, to y'all, like, you know, y'all probably didn't think, but that was the coolest to me. I love seeing him launch from the clouds, just zippity zapping. Oh my gosh, bro, Gear 5th is so fun. Gear 5th was just such a fun time, and I think they went above and beyond to capture how much fun Luffy's character is when he transforms into Gear 5th, because that's what it's supposed to symbolize. Fun and freedom. He was having fun. It was his peak, you know. Most of the time it didn't even look like he cared. Only when he was getting attacked, he was like, oh, but like, he wasn't even getting like attacked like that. Like, it's just carefree. It fits Luffy's character perfectly, and honestly, it even fits Kaido's character perfectly. You know, he had won 4 times up till now. You think he's gonna be like, oh yeah, you know, maybe he'll get back up? No, after this time when he knocked Luffy out, I would have done the same. I would have been like, all right, wasn't anybody else supposed to stop me? Like, this was really good fight for Kaido, because he honestly still could have beat Luffy in Gear 5th. I think he could have. But you know, I think he just didn't even have anything else left in the tank. Luffy's Gear 5th definitely just surprised him, something that he wanted, especially feeling like he didn't deserve the win that was interrupted when he knocked Luffy out. Again, I thought this fight was perfect for both sides, and just, you know, Luffy ending it off the Bajran gun. Cinema! So good. This fight was my fight of the year. Luffy versus Kaido, and I knew it would be too. Regardless of Jujutsu Kaisen, like, bro, Jujutsu Kaisen really was up there. They really were up there. It was straight Jujutsu Kaisen and One Piece on my list, I swear. But hope y'all enjoyed the list. Let me know if you disagreed or agreed with any of them. Let me know your guys' list down in the comments below. If you guys have any favorite fights maybe that I missed, or maybe that I should watch, any recommendations, anything that you think I would enjoy, you know, everything, put the feedback down in the comments below. I'd greatly appreciate it. And, you know, I'm always looking to branch out, watch different things, watch new things. Very open in my anime taste. This just, you know, fell a little more in my biases. I do tend to like my shonen anime, but the fights cooked this year, all of the ones on my list, and I loved every single part of all the fights that I watched. So again, let me know any feedback you guys got in the comments, and I hope y'all have a very Merry Christmas. I should have this done by tomorrow. It's Christmas Eve right now. It's gonna be Christmas Day when we watch this, so Merry Christmas! I promise y'all next Christmas will be more Christmassy. It's my favorite time of the year, and I didn't even get, I felt like I didn't have time to get into the Christmas spirit, so I'll make sure to fix that for next year. Merry Christmas to y'all. Enjoy with your family. Hope you enjoyed this video. Above all, make sure to stay safe. Enjoy time with your loved ones, friends, family. And I'm gonna be here throughout Christmas, throughout the new year, going into 2024. I'm gonna be here to provide more videos and content for y'all. Much love. Thank y'all for the support. I really appreciate it. Hope y'all have a great holiday. Whether you celebrate Christmas or not, just enjoy the time with your family. So make sure y'all remember to drink enough water, eat enough, get enough rest, take care of personal hygiene, because we cannot be the best version of ourselves to spread our positive energy throughout the world out first taking care of ourselves. God bless. This has been World Pass, and I'm a peace out. Dang, I couldn't hold the cough in.